Even after leaving Scientology, many former members may continue to operate under the framework and behaviors they were conditioned into while part of the group, often without realizing it. Scientology drills into its members a rigid belief system, a structured worldview, and specific behavioral patterns, all of which can be hard to unlearn even when they reject the organization itself. This phenomenon is common in high-control groups, where deeply ingrained practices and mental conditioning persist long after physical departure. Key ways ex-members may continue to operate through Scientology. Cognitive framework. Scientology teaches a black and white, us versus them worldview. Even after rejecting the church, ex-members may still unconsciously view the world through a similar dichotomy, categorizing people and situations as either fully good or bad, without nuance. The hierarchical mindset of constantly evaluating others, judging their status or perceived ethics, can persist. 2. Self-criticism and narcissistic tendencies. Scientology emphasizes self-improvement through rigid auditing and sec-checking, where one is constantly seeking to rid themselves of negative influences like engrams or suppressive thoughts. Even outside the church, former members may continue these self-critical tendencies, harshly evaluating their own thoughts and actions as if still striving to clear themselves. This can manifest in narcissistic patterns where they seek to maintain control over themselves or others, using their internalized hierarchy to measure success or failure. 3. Authority structures. Within Scientology, one's value is tied to their position in the bridge to total freedom or their OT level. Even after leaving, ex-members might feel compelled to replicate some form of hierarchical structure in their own lives, whether in professional, social, or personal relationships. They might unconsciously look for new authority figures, such as self-help gurus or spiritual leaders, or try to place themselves at the top of new hierarchies, where they attempt to assert control or superiority over others. Language and thought patterns. Scientology's specialized language, like ethics, tech, interbulation, etc., becomes ingrained in how members think and communicate. Even after leaving, ex-members may continue to frame their thoughts and conversations around these terms, limiting their ability to fully break free from the mindset. The jargon is not just linguistic, it's conceptual, shaping how they interpret reality. Number 5. Fear of suppression. Scientology drills the idea of suppressive persons, SPs, into its members, making them hyper-vigilant about outside influences. Even if they recognize that this concept is manipulative, ex-members may continue to fear outside influences, whether it's disconnection from family or distrust of people who don't conform to their expectations. This fear of outside interference can shape their personal relationships and interactions, making it difficult to fully trust others or let go of controlling behaviors. Replacement of the narcissistic hierarchy. Upon leaving, the highly structured narcissistic hierarchy of Scientology does not simply disappear. It is often replaced by new hierarchies, which can take many forms. 1. Personal authority figures. Many ex-Scientologists unconsciously replace the authority of the church with other figures who provide a sense of certainty or control, such as therapists, self-help experts, or even new spiritual teachers. The need for a leader who can provide answers remains strong, given the way Scientology conditioned them to submit to authority figures like Hubbard or Miscavige. Number 2. Self as authority. Some ex-members may seek to place themselves at the top of their own narcissistic hierarchy, becoming their own ultimate authority figure. This can manifest in a hyper-focus on self-improvement, self-discipline, and rigid personal control. In many cases, these individuals may strive for perfection in their professional or personal lives, holding themselves to unrealistic standards in an attempt to regain the sense of progress they once sought through auditing and advancing on the bridge. New communities. Some may seek out new groups or ideologies, such as other high-control spiritual movements, personal development programs, or even work environments that replicate the hierarchical structure they were familiar with in Scientology. In these settings, they might either submit to or attempt to climb new pyramids of authority, seeking validation, power, or control within these systems. 4. Narcissism in relationships. In personal relationships, an ex-member might unintentionally replicate the control dynamics they experienced in Scientology. They may act as the arbiter of truth in their family or social circles, expecting others to conform to their beliefs, routines, or judgments. The need to assert superiority, shaped by the church's hierarchical mindset, can lead to controlling or manipulative behavior in their close relationships. 5. Fear of vulnerability. Ex-members are often hesitant to be vulnerable or question themselves, since Scientology instilled the idea that vulnerability is weakness. Instead, they might create emotional barriers or hierarchies in their personal life, placing themselves above others emotionally or intellectually in an attempt to maintain control and avoid feeling inferior. What lies at the top of the new pyramid? After leaving Scientology, what or who replaces the leadership at the top of the hierarchy varies depending on the individual, but often it remains a reflection of internalized control systems. The self as the ultimate arbiter. For some, the narcissistic hierarchy doesn't dissolve. Rather, they become their own ultimate source of truth, feeling they must now rely solely on their own judgment, often without external guidance. This can lead to isolation or a sense of superiority, where they place themselves at the top, no longer beholden to the group, but still engaged in a quest for control and dominance. Other external gurus or systems. Others may seek out new sources of authority that provide the same kind of rigid, top-down guidance they were used to in Scientology. This could be a personal development coach, a new religious system, or another structured ideology that offers the same kind of certainty and clear hierarchical structure. In such cases, they replace Scientology's hierarchy with a new one. Professional or social achievement. Former members might channel their drive for advancement into professional success, seeking power and validation through career accomplishments, wealth, or status. They transfer the hierarchical dynamics of Scientology to their work or social environments, seeking to be on top of these new systems as they once did with OT levels. Conclusion. Leaving Scientology does not immediately dismantle the deeply ingrained systems of thought, behavior, and hierarchy that it instills in its members. While an ex-member may consciously reject Hubbard and the church, the unconscious framework of control, narcissistic hierarchy, and self-evaluation persists. What replaces the formal Scientology hierarchy depends on the individual, but often involves either replacing authority with a new external figure or continuing to operate under similar control dynamics in personal, social, or professional domains. The task of fully disentangling from this mindset requires conscious effort, self-reflection, and often therapeutic support.
Audiences know what to expect, and that is all they are prepared to believe in.
Sell me this pen.
It's a amazing pen. For professionals.
Sell me this pen.
Well, it's a nice pen. You can use the pen to write down thoughts from your life so you can remember.
Sell me this pen.
Well, this pen works, and I personally love this pen, and I think this pen...